Alright, so here we are. This video is not going to be about the gameplay at all. The gameplay is just in the background. Because I wanted to talk about something that I feel like is about to explode today. Because it was already exploding last night. Now, if you don't know, right, here's the rundown. Here's the rundown. So yesterday, it was announced that today, the day you're seeing this video, there will be a Nintendo Direct, okay? Anyways, a few hours later, Metroid Prime 4 and Zelda 2 both got leaked on, like, Target or something. It was like some store website. I think it was Target. Anyways, point being, the games are priced at $70. Now, again, by the time I'm recording this video, the Direct has not happened. The Direct will happen in about like 4 or 5 hours-ish, from when I'm making this. From when I'm posting it, it might, who knows, the Direct could already be out, I don't know. And I'm not even a Nintendo fan at all, by the way. I don't even own a Nintendo console, but, I see that this discourse is about to be brought upon us again, because this is going to be Nintendo's first time experiencing $70 games, okay? Which is very funny to me, that Nintendo is indulging in $70 games. Funny, but not surprising, okay? So yeah, it got leaked on those websites that the games will cost $70, right? It could be wrong, right? The official reveal hasn't happened, but, you know, Twitter blew up, obviously. People are freaking out about this, because this is Nintendo players' first time having to deal with this, and it's pretty annoying. I ain't gonna lie, the $70 price point is annoying. But I just wanted to talk about, I just wanted to have like a little discussion. You know, do you feel like the $70 price point is fair? Because I'm going to give my perspective on it. And my perspective is there is not a single game company that has earned the right to charge $70. I think that's what people are really missing the point of. If you care that the games are $70 or if you don't, the fact is, and this is a fact, games have not earned the right to be $70, okay? And for Nintendo players, I mean, I feel you guys, like, this is terrible, because you guys are playing on an underpowered handheld system, right? The Switch was outdated the day it came out, right? It was always outdated. It was always underpowered. And here we are, what? The Switch came out 7 years ago or something? 8 years ago, and it's still the only new Nintendo console. And they're charging $70 for a sequel to a game that came out with the system, pretty much, right? I don't know the exact release date of the first Breath of the Wild and the Switch, but I know that they were very close together. But I just feel bad for you guys, because here's the fact, right? Breath of the Wild 2 can be good, right? But the fact is, it's not going to be some mind-blowing technical achievement, okay? Because it's on like a 6 or 7 year old console. It's older than that. They were making the Nintendo Switch for way longer than that. So the hardware in that thing is even older than when it came out. It's just, I feel for you, because now they're charging more for a game that, yeah, the game's going to be good, right? But it's not going to do anything that's going to be worth upping the price, right? And that was my whole argument when it happened on PC and console. Now, if you don't know, right, I'm going to explain the history of this to you. If you don't know, right, there are still game developers that don't charge $70, right? It just really makes sense that the only game developers that charge $70 are the most greedy ones. 2K, Activision, EA, Ubisoft, and now Nintendo, right? It just makes so much sense. And if you... I don't remember exactly what company said this. I believe it was 2K. But 2K said that the reason the industry is changing and that games are $70 is because games are harder to make, and they are way higher quality than they've ever been. Now, I'm sure we can all realize that this is straight up cap. This is a lie, right? Especially 2K, right? When it comes to 2K, all they make is sports games. They get worse every year, right? The main goal of sports games is to figure out how to get the most money out of its players with the least effort. That's always been the goal of sports games, right? It's not like that's changing. And they get worse every year because of that, because they find out new ways, new things that sports game players will put up with to get more money. Like, for example, they raised the cost of the microtransactions on 2K, on NBA 2K. The players ate it up, right? They didn't care. They're paying $10 more for the game. And now they're paying more for the microtransactions. And guess what? It still made a lot of money. Because, you know, sports games players are a little slow. You know, they're a little slow. But the companies know that, so they just charge more, right? It has nothing to do with the game's quality being improved upon, right? EA, obviously, EA is notorious for this, right? And let's look at what won Game of the Year last year, because the game that won Game of the Year last year was Elden Ring, which was a $60 game, by the way. So if games are really improving, right, and they're really, you know, hitting these new limits, why did a $60 game win Game of the Year last year? That doesn't make much sense, right? Except it does make sense when you realize that they aren't improving at all. It's just a way to get more money out of you. And that's all it's ever been, right? Obviously. That when it comes down to it, that's just what matters, the money. So, yeah, I don't agree with the $7 price point. I haven't, and I never have. Why is that? Because I haven't played a game that really... that really showed what next gen is to me, right? And what I will say is that I technically have played a game like that, and that game was Demon's Souls, okay? And I believe that game was $70, Demon's Souls. Now here's the thing, Demon's Souls absolutely was groundbreaking in the graphics part of things. But in the gameplay part of things, it played like a game from 2009 because that's what it was, right? So that was not groundbreaking in any way just because it looks better, right? It had the graphics of a $70 game, but it didn't have the gameplay of a $70 game, and that's what a game is. A game is gameplay, right? And that's obviously what Nintendo fans have to look forward to is the gameplay because they don't got the graphics, right? And I believe... for a game to be $70, it has to have gameplay that is amazing and literally graphics and an engine and all these things that have never been seen before ever. For example, right? Let's just say that if anyone's played this, right, there was a Matrix game that came out that showcased Unreal Engine 5, right? If a game like that came out and it had amazing gameplay, that would be a $70 game in my book. That's just my opinion, because if a game looked like that and it played fun too, it wasn't like some generic boring game, it actually played fun, That's what warrants a game being $70, right? But NBA 2K looking worse than some of the PS3 games, right, does not warrant it being $70. And Breath of the Wild coming out on like an 8-year-old system does not warrant it being $70, because here's the thing. It may look better than the old game, but it's not going to be that much of a difference. Most of the difference is probably going to come in the gameplay, right? Yes, gameplay is all that matters. However, when it comes to a game being $70, that's not all that matters, because when you pay $70, you're paying for the entire package, the music, the graphics, the gameplay, the sound, everything, right? You're not paying $70 for gameplay, right? That's not how that works. You're paying $70 for the whole thing. If you got a movie, if you paid $70 for a movie and you got the script, right? And that's all you got, you'd be pretty upset. You would want the full Blu-ray HD release of the movie with audio and subtitles, right? Like you don't want the script of the movie. You're paying for the whole thing, right? And if you buy Breath of the Wild, I believe you're paying for something that is not worth the price, right? And that's not just a diss towards Zelda or Nintendo. That is a diss towards every $70 game, because as someone who has purchased many $70 games, they straight up were not worth it, right? And here's the thing, I knew this before buying them. It's not like I'm stupid, right? Because I feel like 90% of the people that buy Zelda are going to buy it knowing full well that it's not worth $70, right? And what many people don't like to, there's people who don't think it's a big deal, right? And if you don't think $70 is a big deal, right, it's $10 more than what we usually pay. You know what? That's fine if you don't think $70 is a big deal. But here's the thing, right? If you like a game a lot, like me, I've bought in many deluxe editions in my lifetime. I've bought in many deluxe editions, many ultimate editions, right? They're expensive, right? We're talking $100, right? But with the price increase, deluxe editions cost even more now. That's what people aren't realizing, is that, yes, games are more expensive. But this also raises the price of deluxe editions and ultimate editions as well. Not for every game, of course, but many games do raise the prices of their deluxe editions because of the price increase on the base game. So if, let's say a game is $80, right, for the deluxe edition, you're now paying $90 for the deluxe edition instead of $80. And not to mention, games do have tax. Games do have tax, by the way. So a $70 game is going to be like $77 or something. That's almost $80 for a game. It's insane, and it's not about, they will tell you that it's about the quality of games improving. That's not why it is, right? And here's the thing, right? Even though I don't have a Nintendo console, I'm not a Nintendo fan, right? They are notoriously scummy, obviously, right? But the thing that bothers me the most, right? 2K, Ubisoft, Activision, right? They changed their prices because the PS5 and the new Xbox were coming out, right? That's the only reason they changed their prices. They had the excuse of a next-gen console, right? They had the excuse that there was new technology, right? Nintendo is releasing a game on almost a decade-old console. They don't have the excuse of new technology. They are straight up looking you in the eyes and scamming you, right? At least these other scummy companies like 2K and EA, at least they had the excuse of a brand new generation of consoles coming out, right? Nintendo don't even got that. It's straight up literally almost a 10-year-old console, and they're charging the original game, Breath of the Wild 1 was $60. Breath of the Wild 2 is $70. They're coming out on the exact same console. Right? It blows my mind, right? And the worst part is that this really doesn't even happen on next gen, right? Because not every game, but most games on PS5, right, have a PS4 version that actually costs $10 less, right? For example, Call of Duty doesn't do this anymore, but they did do this when the PS5 first came out. If you bought Call of Duty Cold War, which was the Call of Duty that came out with the PlayStation 5, it was $70. But if you only bought the PS4 version, it was $60, right? So they were charging less because obviously it was on a worse console. Nintendo ain't even doing that. They're charging more on the same exact console. They don't even got a new console. They're just charging more because they feel like it. So that's where I feel bad for Nintendo fans, because at least with me, when I was on my PS5 and some of these games are charging $70, I was like, you know what? Whatever, it's the PS5, you know, at least we'll get ray tracing and 4K, you know. I don't personally believe those things are worth the extra cost, but the other, you know, the PS4 version of the game doesn't have these things. And, you know, faster loading, whatever, I'll bite the bullet, you know. I'll do it. I don't think it's worth it, but I'll do it. Nintendo fans, you guys are going to get a game that runs at 15 FPS, looks incredibly blurry, and is going to be a sequel to a game that came out on the same exact system, and they're going to charge you more for it. That's where I feel for you, because Nintendo fans are some of the most annoying, in a good way, die-hard fans I've ever seen in my life, and then they treat you like this. You know, you guys are way more die-hard than probably any other gaming fan base, and then they go and treat you like this. It blows my mind. You guys are incredibly annoying about what you like, because you know you're passionate about it, and this is how they thank you. Doesn't surprise me because it's Nintendo, to be honest, but yeah, I feel for you guys, because at least we had the excuse of there being new hardware. You guys are literally playing on ancient technology. So, yeah, that's my take on the whole situation. I would like to know what you guys feel, because I know some people, there are many people that didn't even buy $60 games. They just didn't buy them at all, which, you know, I could see a reason for that as well. But, yeah. It's unfortunate. It really is. And like I said, this video could be all for nothing. It could. Literally, the direct could happen and the game could be $60. Like, I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. But the leaks, not the leaks, they were official store listings that got taken down yesterday. They were $70. Yeah, I feel bad for you guys. And to be fair, I mean, even though you guys are getting scammed arguably slightly worse than we are, everyone is getting scammed out here. There's no game worth $70, because like I said, the game that won Game of the Year last year was $60. So what's that about, you know? It doesn't make any sense. But whatever. Whatever. There's nothing we can do about it. Not buying the games isn't going to change anything, you know? It's not. And not to mention, there's millions of people that are playing games that don't even realize the price change, to be honest. And they will buy the games even if we don't. So it doesn't matter. It's a lose-lose, and you just got to deal with it. But it's stupid. It's very dumb. So yeah. That's all I got to say. That's my take on the $70 game situation. This has always been my take on it for years. It's just that obviously Nintendo fans are about to see what it's like. So, yeah, overall, you know, there's not much to say about it, right? I feel like what I said here was the obvious. And if you don't agree with what I said, then you probably just enjoy defending things that don't need to be defended, to be honest with you. Because there's no reason to defend this at all. Because the game, even if you get 100 hours out of the game, I've got hundreds of hours out of games that I paid $20 for. So, you know. Yeah, that's all I had to say. So, I don't know what tomorrow's video is going to be. I feel like I should do more discussion videos like this. But for now, you know, like, subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you tomorrow.